just looks like a very good team. As hard as it is on Ben Foakes, you look at the potential lineup and you think it looks, it looks a very, very good side with Johnny in there.
That's Rob Key, who is the managing director of the English cricket team. He's in charge of selection. That was the key insight on strategy, is England has chosen its team for the test against Ireland, which is essentially their warm-up for the Ashes. And Ben Foakes, the wicketkeeper, has been dispensed with. Johnny Bairstow, he's kept wickets plenty of time. He's not quite the gloveman that Foakes is, but they think he's the better batter, and that is very much in keeping with Bazball. A month away. This time in a month, we will be dissecting what happened last night, the first day of the Ashes. And I'm very pleased to say, and our broadcast on SEN Test Cricket, where you will hear every ball of the World Test Championship and the Ashes, Damien Fleming is going to be there for the first 3 tests of this Ashes series for us. Hello to you, Flem.
Hey, Gerard. How you going? Just hearing that then, cannot wait to get over there and to call the Ashes. We're over there 4 years ago for the World Cup final in that tie with commentating with Adam Collins and Barat. So to get the opportunity to do first 3 tests of the Ashes on SEN, calling over in England is something special. And then just the context, hopefully it's the world champion Australian test team taking on Bazball. And Bairstow in is significant because if anyone epitomises Bazball, it's Johnny Bairstow. Half a dozen hundreds last year in England at the strike rate. I think he legitimised Bazball quite early, and that's why they're so keen to get him back in.
The jouting's been fantastic. So Nathan Lyon raised the prospect of 5-0, so the journos pressed him on the whitewash and he went 100%. There's your headline. Mic drop.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe he's been reading Glenn McGrath's autobiography over just in his little wing there. But, that's fantastic. I mean, let's be honest, there's only been 3 whitewashes in Ashes history, 3 times, 2021, 06, 07, 13, 14. None in England. And we know rain can have a factor there, but I don't see these test matches going 5 days. So I am excited that we'll get 5 results. And as internally, when you're a player, Gerard, and you back your team, you do think to yourself, well, why can't we win every game? Why can't we sing the song after every test match? So I love what Nathan Lyon said, particularly on the back of Stuart Broad just brushing away the 4-0 loss here in Australia, just saying, it was COVID related, didn't really count. So there's some really great experienced players in both teams, some really good characters. So, that's just going to build this up even more.
And then to guarantee that the competitive juices are flowing is Code Cricket ran the piece last night. England paceman Jofra Archer terrorised Australia's batsmen 4 years ago, but Steve Smith and co can breathe a huge sigh of relief after an update from England's medical staff this evening, to which Steve Smith replied, terrorised, ? Confused emoji, remind me when I was dismissed by him, ...
That's gold. I reckon Smithy's brought that up before. So there's no doubt, obviously, Archer filled him with that infamous bouncer, which led way for Marnus Labuschagne to come in as the first sub, wasn't it there? But, Smithy dominated that Ashes series. Yeah, it's sad to see. I mean, he is exciting, isn't he, Archer? Just that genuine pace, unique action, his ability to get bounce off, a pretty full length. And my gut feeling was him and Mark Wood were probably going to float through the series, one test on. And just that extra pace that Anderson, Robinson and Broad don't have. So it does pressure their bowling stocks a fair bit, that it's how they're going to use Wood, who's unlikely to play every test match. And we know that Wood has unsettled the Australians before, so that's a pretty big out. But it also says, how much strain, how much pressure is on a fast bowler's body, isn't there? That it is a high maintenance sporting pursuit. 10 times your body weight goes through at every delivery. So if there's any unbalances in your action, then you're in trouble. And the troubling one again for Archer is he's had elbow issues, and now it's a stress fracture at the back. And I saw some quotes from English people saying that maybe he can take some positivity out of the way that Pat Cummins eventually got out of it. But Cummins was a teenager and he had time up his sleeve. I think as a 28-year-old, you don't have as much time. And Kevin Peterson alluded to it, that maybe that Archer's future in cricket will be white ball cricket just because the strain of bowling 20, 25 overs at 150 plus, his body is pushing back against that.
What do you think of the choice that England are making? Folks out, best wicketkeeper, Bairstow, terrific batter, and capable with the gloves in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big call because Folks he's a high-class wicketkeeper and a fine bat as well. Scored Test hundreds, and he's done a reasonable job. But for me, he's the least Bazball-like batsman in their top seven. He bats at a traditional speed, and if they're going to keep embracing this Bazball, which they will, and Bazball can only work if both captain and coach are aligned, and McCullum and Stokes, similar type of attacking type players. If there is any wobbles, it breaks down. So I'd expect them to just keep going hard with Bazball all the way through. And as I said earlier, if there's anyone that epitomises it, it is Johnny Bairstow, as I said, with so many hundreds last year, but a lot of them at a run of ball. And at number 7 as well. So, he really grasped his opportunity and he lives it more than anyone. So I'm not surprised it was just whether Bairstow had recovered from his broken leg.
In all the harebrained theories being scattered around at the moment, is Ben Stokes to open the strangest of them?
It's up there. It's up there because I don't see how that's going to work. I think Stokes, who's bowling less now, so you probably need his runs even more. And where he's played his match-winning innings has been in the middle order. And really, the opening position's been in trouble for England for, I'd say, 10, 12 years, really. Crawley, Duckett's been doing it lately. They're high-risk players. When they score, they do score quickly. But to put Stokes up there where he's already got the pressure of captaining Bazball, his batting hasn't thrived in Bazball. He's only scored the 100, averaging low 30s. I think they need him to be at least settled in the middle order, to be able to captain and still be able to bowl some handy overs. So I'd be looking elsewhere. I'd be playing around with some combinations. They do have that test against Ireland.
Yep.
Leading in, and so does the Australians. I mean, we've got the Test Championship final against India, which is on Channel 7, and we're doing it here on SEN, which is fantastic. But it's given great context to Test match cricket, hasn't it, Gerard? And the Aussies are determined to win because they stuffed up last time. They should have been playing in it with over rates, and I know that has grated on them for 2 years. You've got India away from India, and the chance to be the World Test champs going in, and also it just gives us a very competitive hit out before that first Ashes Test match.
It's going to be so great. So you'll be singing us off to sleep each night, Flem. That's a big responsibility for you. No, it's going to be fantastic. I'm rapt that you're going, and you'll be an integral part of SEN Test cricket coverage of the Ashes. I reckon we'll probably talk again before you fly. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. Let's catch up. Let's hand over that microphone for me to take over there.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Gerard.
Damien Fleming with an eye toward the Ashes. So in a month's time, we'll be looking back on the first day's play. So much to transpire between now and then.